Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. In the previous episode, we've got a lot done, to be honest. We took out the last of the side quests and exploration we could do before taking care of the necessary stuff for this chapter of the game. Got another heart piece, our eighth one, which got us a brand new heart container, as you see there. And then, we entered Subrosia again, obtained the power to summon Autumn, and then used said power to reach the dungeon we stand in now, the Unicorn's Cave. So in this episode, we're going to be taking care of the rest after finishing off the more southwestern part of the dungeon last episode. We knock out the rest of it now, and we're going to start by heading down these stairs to reach a different section. 2D segment. Careful here. We're going to want Rock's Feather because that's practically a given. Don't let the fireballs get you. Mind the thwomps. Heading up. And we got some bombable rocks here. Let's see. I forget off the top of my head which way we're supposed to go first. Let's head up this way first. Let's just see. Where are we? This'll do, I suppose. We want to start by heading to the east here. We have a couple Gibdos walking around. Those things can take a lot of hits. 1 and 2, 3, 4 to be exact. But if you don't want to deal with that, there is a quicker way to deal with them. Set their bandages on fire. The bad news is they become gold Stalfos, which can arguably be more annoying with their dodging and their bone throwing, and immunity to fire apparently. But with those enemies taken care of, a chest appears containing our dungeon map. And just to get a clearer glimpse of exactly what we're looking at here, it basically looks like the head of a unicorn facing to the right. It is it's pretty big for being one floor. So with that out of the way, well, the only way we can go now is to the west. Mind the wisp enemies here. Yeah, they're called wisps, even though they look exactly like the bubble enemies from Zelda 1. If one touches you, you won't be able to use your sword for a few seconds. That can be very, very annoying in the wrong circumstances. But just stay clear of them and they're not too much of a problem. They generally move in straight lines until they reach an obstacle and then they'll move in a different direction. You know, in hindsight, maybe I should have saved lifting those until I had some health missing and could just use them to recover. We find ourselves in another water-filled room similar to the one in the more southern section of the dungeon. Careful. Whoa. Slash, slash. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. So up here, easy does it. We gotta go this way, because as you can see, those blocks block the way otherwise. Well, sort of. Hop down here. You can dive to make avoiding these enemies much easier. Through here, what do we have here? A locked door. And uh-oh, that's not good. So, it looks like we're trapped in here unless the thing in that chest is somehow instrumental to us escaping. Well, I suppose we could just technically just save and quit and wind up at the entrance again, but shh. So let's just get these keys out of the way just for the sake of getting them out of the way. Come on. Damn that. There. Ugh. So what could be in this chest? Well, it's none other than... You got the magnetic gloves! Their magnetic might attracts and repels. Press the button to reverse polarity. Yes, a brand new dungeon item, it hasn't made a whole lot of appearances outside of this game, just once in 4 swords. So the magnetic gloves, I hope you don't mind if I call them the magnet gloves for short, it's so much easier to say. So by using them, you'll face one direction as you shuffle, left and right or up or down or whatever. And every time you use it, it switches polarities as magnets, well, magnets have 2 different polarities as you know. And now we can interact with all the different things you saw that had some kind of N or S or implied magnetic charge on them. And so, as with real-world magnets, opposite polarities attract, similar polarities repel. And so now we can use that to interact with all those magnet-sensitive objects in a whole bunch of different ways. And the first thing we're gonna do with this is using it to pull this iron ball onto the switch so we can escape. A couple important things for the magnet gloves. You see, you can actually cancel it with a sword swing, and doing so will actually let you keep the polarity it's currently sitting on instead of automatically switching polarity. In addition, there are a couple items you can actually use while having the magnet gloves active. The boomerang is one of them, as is a seed satchel. Keep that in mind. You do have a bit of room for freedom as you use them. You can push these blocks from the north side, but not the south, if I remember right. So that is something you have to do. And so now that we have the dungeon item in hand, things just get a lot more interesting. Yeah, they give it to you pretty early in this dungeon. So now you want to head down this way. As it turns out, there's no real necessary order for exploring the past in this side-scrolling area. Alright, coming up, if I remember correctly, you want to have your shield with you, actually. Yes, because these statues will shoot these magic rings at you, and your shield can block them. Keep in mind, you can't block them while you're jumping with Rock's Feather. So there is a bit of timing involved. There we go. Another setup here, they just aren't going to make it that easy for you. And land on top of the statues, and up we go. Ooh boy, this is an interesting one. So, remember that one puzzle in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess that gets on so many fans' nerves? Well, turns out that wasn't the first time they did a puzzle like that. So, whatever direction we push this Armo statue down here, the one over there will move in the opposite. And knowing that makes this puzzle really not all that hard, as long as you keep track of where the other statue is. One push more to the north, and the door's open. And so now we find ourselves, don't fall. Careful. Got a keys up here. If they get just out of range, we can always just boomerang it. And remember, so that happened. Always remember, if you don't want to pull out the power bracelet, you do have the ability to just push these now, as long as you have it in your possession. And now we're on the other side of that room. We couldn't do much with before. Of course, now we can just move that iron ball out of the way at our leisure, which opens up some things. We just got 100 rupees in a chest just sitting here, which is awfully generous of them. Seriously, there's like no difficulty whatsoever to get to that thing, especially since we're heading through here anyway. Helmosaurs, whoa. Helmosaurs, rather interesting that, just a second here, let's check out this owl statue first. Recall the order you slay the knights in. Kind of interesting that this door here is the one they use when they would put a door here, because not on either side you actually have a door closed down. It's weird. Maybe they maybe at some point they intended to have the door in this room closed until you killed all the enemies. Just kind of like the one on the other side. Hello, fairy. So, there is something interesting you can do with Helmosaurs now that you have the magnet gloves. I should do well to remember that next time we see one. So we have 4 Armos here. And they do come to life, although unlike most Armos, you can actually harm these with your sword. Do take care not to get hurt by them. They do move faster than your typical Armos. 1, 2, 3. And so now 4 chests appear. And if you remember the owl statue, you want to remember the order you slay them in, or a bunch of bubbles will pop up in their place. So with that demonstration out of the way, let's kill some knights. Let's head back out and then back in, since I kind of forgot which of those two ended up where. Make this one appear first. 2, 3, so that's northeast. And southeast. 1, 2. Careful. Then northwest. Then southwest. And these bombs only do twice the damage of a sword, believe it or not. And so now we recall the order we slayed the knights in. 1 rupee with a ... Can't say I blame you there, Link. 10 bombs isn't bad. 4 ember seeds. The only time you ever see that in a chest. It's kind of, yeah. But in this last chest is something a little more important. A key! Yeah, that's convenient, ain't it? And so now that's the entire western section of the dungeon explored. Well, mostly. Because, if you remember, there were quite a few things we couldn't do the first time that we can, now that we have the magnet gloves with us. So in this room, we can start off by pulling this ball out of the way so we can head south. I just kind of like having the magnet gloves set to south polarity. It's just a habit of mine. I like them. I like how they look when they're blue as opposed to red. Just my thing. So, Helmosaurs get a lot less annoying when you can just stand a distance from them and pull their masks off. Yep. And so that's actually not where we want to go just yet. You remember that chest from before, right? Get out of here, you damn soul. And you remember, there was that S-pole sitting way off in the distance. Well, we just so happened to... Oh, I'm just getting hit like crazy here, aren't I? And just as I say it, I get hit again. So we can stand here, south pushes us away, but north pulls us right toward it. And so now, we can head up here and reach this chest containing, surprise, surprise, another key. Yeah, we're going to be picking up quite a few of them right now. Careful, careful. Ah, come on, I'm down to a heart and a half. Oh, God, this is bad. Careful, space it out. There we... Well, don't get hit. Well, I won't die, but we will burn that potion. Use this to repel us back to safety. So, you know, thinking about it, as flashy and gaudy as hell as the colors are in this dungeon, it does kind of fit for, in a roundabout way. You know, this is the Unicorn's Cave, and, you know, unicorns are generally associated with magic, and you can only get here in the fall, and fall is kind of associated with magic as well. And these very bright and colorful dungeon colors are kind of magic-y in their own way. So it kind of works. Kinda. So let's head off to the west here, because if you remember, there was this thing here. Well, we want that on B. Get this Helmosaur out of the way. Slash. So, no more health there. Get the sword back. So this is a little interesting. You see, what you want to do here is pull yourself toward it, rotate around, and very quickly pull yourself back before you end up in the abyss. That could have gone better. Wait for it. Wait for it. Time it right. And down it goes. And now we have a third key. Yeah, yeah, have I mentioned this dungeon isn't very linear? Because it's not. So now with 3 keys in hand, where do we go now? Well, the answer lies in pretty close to where we started the episode, in fact. So we're gonna do a little minecart madness here. Well, this is awkward, because we took that stairway to the northern section, and then this came back through the shortcut, opened up the minecart, stuck over there. So, the best way to fix this, we're gonna have to leave the dungeon and come back. That's... I'll see you guys in a minute. So a little bonus effect of leaving the dungeon and returning is that a decent amount of these pots will now respawn the items they would have had underneath them. So it kind of helps, I suppose. Now we want to head due east now that this minecart is back. And now if you see this gap there and that S-pole, we can get across there now that we have the magnet gloves. But again, since you wanted to wait until you had some keys in your possession, you didn't want to do this right away. You can already see one locked door there. But if we head through this passageway with this minecart, we can find this chest that had been taunting us the whole way to obtain a 4th small key. Yeah, not very often in a Zelda game that you have this many keys at once. And so now we want to finally venture toward the admittedly smaller eastern section. And we're going to kick this off with a mini-boss fight, so have your Pegasus seeds on hand. Meet Siger, a saber-toothed cat with a weak point on its tail that likes to roll around at the speed of sound. So you want to run in, slash its tail a couple times, and then get the hell out of the way. It's got a few different attacks, and it's very good at mixing things up. So be very, very careful. It likes to go into another attack as soon as you hit it once, so you might also want to focus on spin attack. For this attack, it'll just head straight up or down about 3 times, and then it'll come back around. So now it's gonna spin. Careful. Yeah, it's rather unpredictable. Yeah, gotta, oh boy. Ah! And there goes the potion. Well, easy come, easy go, I guess. And one more hit and it's dead. Couldn't that figure? So anyway, we got a warp back to the, we got a warp point back to the entrance of the dungeon. Doesn't take it very far, but it's good for saving a minute or so. And then we head on to the second main part of the dungeon, and wouldn't you know it, the paths diverge yet again. So we got 3 different ways to go here, 2 of them behind locked doors. Well, 1 behind a door, 1 behind a block, but we want to start off by heading east. Mind that guy there. And so here we have a switch. That, you know, to be honest, I was expecting it to be one of those ones that we'd have to push a pot onto, but we actually don't have a way of doing that because all these pots are set up in a way that you couldn't get behind them to push them. So I guess it is a good thing that they put that switch there in plain sight. Although, you know, maybe you could have like stuck it in a corner or something and made players have to head all the way back there, but it is what it is. No harm done. Mind the BMOS here. Well, something a little interesting is, you know, these Dark Nuts are clad in very heavy armor, right? Very heavy metal armor. And so you can pull them toward you like this. And so, it's a very easy way to just get them right up in your face and slash them. Although the fact that there's a BMOS in this room makes things a little harder. As I get zapped. Alright, new type of enemy. The names are rather interesting. They're called Magnes in the Japanese version. Given no official English name, but referred to as Magnites in a couple players' guides, and I actually kind of like that name. So as you see, they can reverse their polarity at will, but the fact that they have a polarity is rather interesting. So to defeat them, use the magnet gloves to pull them toward you. And take advantage of the fact that you can cancel the magnet gloves with your sword. Makes things a lot easier. Just take care not to try and pull them toward you while they're switching polarity, or they'll spit a fireball at you. It's not fun. They only take a couple hits to take care of, fortunately. Your best bet is to wait for them to switch polarity and then immediately pull them afterwards, because they do wait a while before they... I might as well have been button mashing there. Come here, you. And dead. Yeah, they can be kind of a pain. So the reason you want to head through this way is because you need to take this iron ball up here and pull it to an area where you'll be able to reach it from that area down south. So, if you hadn't gone this way first, well, let's just say you would have gotten really, really frustrated. So now let's be careful around this BMOS, because now we can take the other 2 paths more safely. More safely, yeah, lovely. And so we can use this to grab some health real fast. That's actually very convenient that they put those sparks there. So now this time back to this the room where the path splits, we want to head west. Wait, no, we don't. We want to head. We actually want to head north and through the staircase first. Good thing we have all those keys, huh? And now we see these magnetic poles in a side-scrolling section. Use these gloves to pull. Yeah. Okay. Pull up. And over here. Careful around the sparks. Yeah, they show up in these side-scrolling sections too. And up we go. So here we find ourselves in... Wait a minute. That's not right. No, you want to... Okay, sorry about this, folks. This takes you to the boss, but we kind of don't have the boss key. So we're going to have to head back and take the west path this time. See you in a second. After we boomerang this spark to get a fairy. And watch the fairy fly out of our range. Oh, there we go. We're good. We're living. So, for real this time. Remember this room? And this is why you wanted to summon that iron ball the first time you came through here, because otherwise you'd be kind of in a bad situation. And then we immediately have that iron ball movement from just a couple minutes ago immediately pay off. Position this iron ball so that we are behind it. How did that hit me? I don't want to know how that hit me. But anyway, we can use this to protect us from the fire. Because in this game, fire does not beat steel. So now we can head down this pathway we saw before. More of this stuff. Conveyor platforms, that's new. They slowly push you in the direction they're rotating in. That one pushes you to the left. This one pushes you to the right, and then another one that pushes you to the left. Mind the spikes. Careful, careful. Pull yourself up here, and we have a boss key sitting in a passage as Link holds it up above his head in midair. Careful. Now we gotta head back here without getting impaled on those spikes. So far, so good. That could have gone better. But, saved that real easily. And we're back. So, no real harm done. Use this again to protect this. Careful. But we can't take it with us, huh? Oh, and another thing. You do hold your... If you leave a room with the magnet gloves active, you do keep them active as you enter the next room. It's kind of cool. Let's see if we can get a couple quick health pickups here. Anything in these pots, or has nothing respawned since the last time we left it all these... Oh, hey, there's a heart. That's helpful. And some bombs. I don't think we needed any bombs, but it helps. So, overall, you want to take these paths in, the direction... The order you want to take these paths in is 3, 1, 2. 31 is number 2. So for real this time, we've done this already. It's nothing too hard. Upward, wait for it. And drop, then up. Drop. It's really convenient how, you know, if you just catch the corner of the range of these magnetic poles, the gloves will actually pull you toward the dead center of them to make it easier to platform. And so now this time, we want to start by moving these pots out of the way. A couple more hearts for recovery. And now we want to make clever use of the magnet gloves here. Because here we want to not stop at the very closest range. Ourselves over. Careful with the keys. And I fall anyway. Lovely. Easy. Just a little further, and got it. So as you might expect, you want your sword and magnet gloves for this fight. Brace yourselves, because we got another returning boss here. Dig Dogger. Yeah, haven't seen much of him, huh? He doesn't make many appearances outside of Zelda 1. So those of you who are veterans of Zelda 1 may be thinking, hey, wait a minute. This isn't going to be hard at all. All I got to do is... Yeah, playing the flute doesn't work in this game. But the good news is Dig Dogger has another weakness. You see that giant metal spiked ball up there? Well, even though it doesn't have a polarity listed on it, you can pull it. Its blue color means it's... I'm just tripping over myself here. The blue color means that it has an affinity with south polarity, excuse me. And so you can use that knowledge to push and pull it to hit Dig Dogger. And once you've hit Dig Dogger enough, the hit stun he is in, and the fact that he takes a while to jump again, means you can hit him multiple times if you catch him once, and then you want to kill as many of these mini Dig Doggers as possible, because he will return to normal size over time. So between that craziness, the fact that he can jump quite a bit, especially when you've killed most of the mini Dig Doggers, letting him jump much more erratically at a time, and the fact that this iron ball can and will hurt you if it touches you, the damage can rack up very quickly in this fight. Whoa! You just be very careful with it. Hit him enough times, and we just gotta hit this one last mini Dig Dogger, and that's it! That fight went a lot more quickly than I thought it would, to be honest. And so let's take our well-earned heart container, and here we have our next essence of nature. You got the nurturing warmth and essence of nature. Balmy days build strong saplings with their nurturing warmth. Oh, Link. Nurturing warmth has brought me strength. I saw a dream of you inside vast ruins. Perhaps an essence is hidden in some. And with that, that's another dungeon out of the way, yeah. Chapter 5 is a pretty short one. And so, there are a few things we can do now that we have the magnetic gloves, including a very important item upgrade. And one that isn't quite so important, but is very helpful. And so, next episode of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, we'll start making headway in those, as well as making headway toward finding our 6th dungeon, which, believe it or not, the two are, rather inexorably linked. And so, see you guys then!